Hi, welcome to MediatorPodcast.com, a podcast and video series about mediation, negotiation, and collaboration. My name is Melissa Gragg, and I provide online valuation, divorce, and mediation services in St. Louis, Missouri. In this week's episode, we will discuss the benefits of divorce mediation, co-parenting, child support, and future expenses with Erika Englund. She's a family law attorney in California, a trained divorce mediator, and founder of Divorceably. Currently, she's also the CSO of Support Pay. You know, when you're a mediator, you're really coming in and saying, okay, here are some options, right? Like master brainstorming, I like to call it. And you're coming up with all of these ideas. When you're pulling in like a financial person or a CDFA, you're really saying, okay, we need somebody to give us some reasonableness in there. So, and we are coming in and kind of, you know, we may not be giving an opinion, but we are certainly talking about tax effects of things, or we're talking about, you know, if you take this, you know, is this cash equal to this security? Is this business equal to this? And so we are putting some more opinions in it, and it allows the mediator to really remain neutral and to guide the process, but to have these other experts come in and say, okay, maybe we need an expert in, given the situation, we need an expert in here, given another situation. And so in my mind, the mediation really becomes a way that you can cater it to those individuals, that couple, and it's going to be different.
Absolutely. And then the CDFA, something you've told me you do, and I really appreciate, lays out the information, helps them understand it's fair. And then at the end of the day, if they choose something that's not a 50-50 division, or maybe it's not in their best interest with taxes or cash flow, it's an informed decision and it's meeting some other priority, and then like they're happy with it. I had a CDFA, Russell Phelps. He's here in California. I work with him a lot. And he came in just really to talk about, if you take your spouse's share of the pension here in California with our public pension system and you liquidate it immediately, you get just pennies on the dollar. So I had a client just really stuck in half is half. Give me my half of the pension, and then I'm going to go liquidate it. And what we were able to do just with his guidance was really to understand, you can take this 401k money, you can liquidate it so much less expensive, and then your spouse ends up with their full pension, they're happy. It's just this like amazing way of giving people the information without having to tell them what they have to do. And we love as the mediator when the CDFA can come in and give more of an opinion, but then also be respectful if ultimately what the client does is chooses something else.
Right. And I think that, you know, one of the things that we had kind of discussed was separate property, you know, or any of these kind of issues that could have two ways of looking at something, right? But I think when couples get into divorce, they're like, well, are they going to have to pay me out of the house? You know, are they going to buy me out of the business? Are they going to buy me out of that pension? And so I think even just at the beginning, it's kind of starting to understand that you have a bucket of stuff and you may have a bucket of debt. And all we're doing is moving things out, you know, from one bucket into two buckets. It doesn't mean that they're going to be even. It doesn't mean we don't have a scale, right? Well, in some cases we do, but, you know, it doesn't mean that they have to be totally even. You know, most people want something that's equitable, that's reasonable. I try not to use the word fair always, because every judge and attorney is just like, there's nothing fair. There's nothing that can go through the court system that's fair. It just, you know, so it's more so reasonable. Like, does it make sense? And does that fuel the family into a better place? Because I think you can make decisions where the numbers are the same for both sides, right? But they don't create a good working environment going forward, right? And
Yes.
so that's where you're bringing in, to talk about concepts, like there's a nesting concept where the kids stay in one house and the parents move out of the houses. And some parents you could tell that's that concept to, and they'd be like, that would really work. And other parents would be like, that's the most horrific idea I've ever thought about. Well, we're not here to decide if it's good for you. We're just here. Here's another idea. Here's another idea. Here's what we've seen other people do in your same situation.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, well, if we take these pieces of these different ideas, we might be able to come up with something that really fits for us. And I think that's more helpful when the couple is engaged in the process, not coming to you and saying, well, Erika, just tell me what I should do. Just
fix the problem.
Fix it. Just tell me what I get and I'll figure it out from there. And it's like, well, that may or may not be the best result. You need to be proactive in it. You need to understand the implication, of having a house debt-free as opposed to having money in the bank for retirement. What does that mean?
It could be hard to. Like, I empathize with, there is a lot going on in divorce, and there are people that just want it over with. And they'll come into me and say, just divide this up and we'll come back and please give us a spreadsheet or hand us our support calculation and we would like to be finished with it. There's so much going on. And like, I understand and identify with that as someone who is divorced and has gone through it. But it is important that we take enough time. We don't have to like go crazy, but just to take enough time to understand. My question to them is, do you have the information that you need to be happy with this 10 years from now? Have you thought about this enough that you'll be happy with it 10 years from now? And it's just shifting their perspective way into the future where all of a sudden they'll think, okay, I'm overwhelmed, but this has some really long-term implications. And so I'll take a minute to think it out.